Hello, everyone. Today is Tuesday, and my name is Nayaswami Hriman, and we are once again going to share some thoughts about Whispers from Eternity by Paramahansa Yogananda. Today we're on number, let's see here, 143. I loved all things that I might learn to crave thee alone. Here's what he writes. I may lose everything and roam about in darkness, but O Divine Mother, see that the tiny taper of my remembrance for thee be not extinguished by the gusts of disbelief. I loved many things, only to find my true craving was for thee alone. Come to me now and be with me always. Curious prayer, actually. You know, sometimes you hear the expression, finding God as if he were lost. Is not Divine Mother always with us? Is not God the only reality? Of course. What he means here is whether or not we have realized, or as we say, self-realized, that inimitable fact. In the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, he describes the upward path to self-realization as a process of remembering. The Sanskrit term, I believe, is smriti. And it's not like going to college or to school where you learn and add facts to your little brain. It's not a question of adding on life experiences, self-definitions, things like that. It's actually more like, as the great Ramakrishna Paramahansa put it, like peeling an onion. You peel an onion and you reach no thing, nirvana. You reach the reality that stripped away of everything, really, even your body, there's nothing left but spirit. Now, notwithstanding that, Yogananda taught that the soul is indelibly stamped with individuality. He went further. He said, every atom is dowered with individuality. How that can be, I have no idea. But we tell ourselves that every snowflake is unique. Honestly, I don't know how they really know that, but in any case, it seems consistent with these teachings. And so, though we are unique in our manifestation, in our essence, we are sparks, but the infinite spirit beyond all creation, prior to, if you like to think of it in those terms, to creation, sort of like the point of singularity, which defines a black hole. Nobody knows what it is, but it's very singular. It's a point of singularity. And so we too are a point of singularity, a point that, as Yogananda put it in his autobiography, the divine vision is center everywhere, circumference nowhere. There's so much depth to that statement, I haven't even begun, but one way of putting it is that to the extent we identify with ourselves outside this point of perfect, pure singularity, then that is our circumference. But spirit resides at the heart of all movement in that single point. So it's really a question of remembering. And that's what this short little prayer demand poem seems to indicate, the taper of my remembrance. I like to think of it in a way that my teacher, Swami Kriyananda, would sometimes put it. He said, you know, even the worst criminal always has some sense. That's why everyone in prison is innocent, because at least in some sense, in terms of their soul sense, they are innocent. Okay, fooled, perhaps confused, identified with this world of delusion, illusion, as we become, and even stepping down into consciously evil actions, which frankly not very many people do, or they might consciously tell a lie or steal a pencil, as I once did in grammar school. I felt traumatized after that. I think the last thing I really ever stole. But anyway, most people aren't evil per se. They get influenced, as people do in wartime, for example, or maybe a person embezzles, the temptation comes, or someone is disloyal or betrays a friendship. One finds oneself at times in tempting circumstances to betray one's true self. But the remembrance, that taper of remembrance, I think Swami Kriyananda once stated, and I've never verified this, that um, Dylan, the gangster of the 20s or 30s, can't think of his name suddenly. It wasn't Al Capone, it was Dillinger. Anyway, John Dillinger, I guess. And when he was found shot to pieces by the FBI or whoever, there was found a note in his pocket, said that in this heart beats, in this breast beats a loving heart. Well, I think he killed a bunch of people, no doubt. But you see what I mean? Even when we've been naughty, there's some part of ourselves, or when we're ill, when we've got the virus, we're dying. There's some part of ourselves that just knows it's not true. I mean, sometimes we're just in denial, like climate deniers, but I'm talking about something deeper, this taper of remembrance that no matter how bad I've been, no matter how bad circumstances are around me, there's something of, there's some part of me that's untouched by gain or loss. Okay. Think of people who gain a lot. They win everything they could possibly imagine or desire. Are they happy? Oh, for a time, but how long does that last? You see, nothing really lasts that way. I've heard it said, and it makes sense to me, though I've never heard my own teacher say it, um, that we basically have to achieve success and fulfill all of our desires before we finally turn away and turn inward towards God. I'm not sure about that. I would hope that's kind of not true, but the fact is we go through life in different stages of life. The Hindus sort of articulate these, but it's obvious. We don't need the Hindus to articulate it for us. But, youth and maybe the typical person gets married and has a certain amount of happiness and pleasure, and kids come along, take all that away. No. And then, we go through these stages of life. Okay. And they're all perfectly fine as far as they go. They just don't go far enough. Human love, human pleasure, success, talent, skills, whatever it is, you're just still you. You're still the same old little toddler or grumpy old man or whatever. That little taper of remembrance can be like like a story I'm not going to tell about a carrot some other day. And that just sort of we rise up like on a magic umbrella, like Mary Poppins is in Mary Poppins, just right up on the taper of our remembrance, Smriti. Practice the presence of that taper, remembering I am not this body. I am not this personality. I am not this fantastic person or this schmuck. Doesn't matter. I am that I am. Fall in love with that, and you will. Joy to you. Okay, here